How did you hear about Chiropractic Company?
So how I heard about Chiropractic Company and found Chiropractic Company was, in all honesty, just pure randomness. I joined the Wisconsin Chiropractic Association, and when I was a student, and I was looking for preceptors, and I was thinking I'd be on my own, doing my own thing, and then an employee reached out to me, and it ended up being a good fit for preceptorship. And from there, the opportunities just continued to roll, and everything just continued to fit.
What made you choose Chiropractic Company?
So when I decided to work with Chiropractic Company, I was already involved with them, being with them during my schooling. And when the pandemic hit, there was so many questions, so many options there. And Chiropractic Company provided a security that I felt I needed with so much opportunity for growth. And I think that opportunity for growth was really enticing in a very chaotic time when nobody knew what was going to happen.
What is your favorite part about working at Chiropractic Company?
My favorite part about Chiropractic Company, there's a couple of different things. One is just that I'm a chiropractor. I just love what I do. I love working with patients that come into Chiropractic Company, and because of how this is set up, this practice was already established, and it was a very smooth transition to the role that I'm in now. But I love working with Chiropractic Company, just again with the people and the other doctors there. You know, going from school, you hear school is a bubble, and then when you go off in the real world, especially if you open up your own practice, it can be very lonely. And I had zero experience of that loneliness. It was immediately join Chiropractic Company, and the amount of doctors that there are between clinical experience and friendships that are forming, it just makes me really excited to see the other chiros, you know, my fellow friends and colleagues at whatever events. And in between those times when I come in to see my patients, it's just a nonstop, enjoyment.
How has working here impacted your life overall?
Overall, my life, it sounds cliche, but it definitely has increased. But the reason is because of the support the Chiropractic Company gives, as well as what I'm doing. What I mean by that is, I was recently, through the chamber, got involved with a middle school, and one of the 8th graders at the end of the presentation about becoming a chiropractor asked me if I was living the dream, which is a pretty, in-depth question for an 8th grader and on the spot. But the enjoyment and the dream that I'm living here today, I would say I love it. And throughout everything that's happened with Chiropractic Company and the opportunities that it's been able to help me with outside of the office has been exactly what I've been looking for at this moment, and I'm very happy with it.
Can you speak to the support systems in place? What one is the most beneficial for you?
So I think when it comes to the support systems is that I really look towards the leadership. And when it comes to some of the executive and not even them, but just the more experienced doctors. If you added up all the years of chiropractic experience at Chiropractic Company, I'm not sure what that number is, but it's a lot. And whether it's from clinical questions, this patient has this going on, what exactly should I do now? Or, what do you think? To, is this marketing idea a good idea? Should I spend my time doing this? It feels like I can just be myself, but hear their input without having to do what they say. Allowing me to feel that support, but continue to move forward in the way that I see fit.
What was the most surprising change coming from school to practicing in an office?
So transitioning from school to practice, for me personally, was a lot of hoops. I ended up having a lot of issues with boards. In fact, I spent over $10,000 on my board exams and boards prep and retaking exams. Not a good test taker whatsoever. But during all that time, when I graduated to when I practiced, I was hired by a chiropractic company. So I was hired and paid as an associate doc without practicing. I wanted to practice, but I didn't have my license. And that was a very reassuring, moment for me in those months, because when you don't have your license, when you first graduate, and you're like, how am I going to pay my bills? What are student loans going to do? How, do I need to work at a bar, before you get your license? Chiropractic Company was there for me, and I was able to still interact with patients, do exams, and some reports, things like that, and get some experience about learning insurance and running the office before I even adjusted my first patient as a practicing licensed doctor in the state of Wisconsin. So, that transition was pretty unique, but I definitely think I would have hit a pretty big low if I didn't have Chiropractic Company by my side.
What has been your focus or area of expertise when it comes to chiropractic care, and how does your patient base support that focus?
So coming to this office, the existing clinic director at the time did a lot of ART, a lot of muscle work, a lot of taping, things that I had no interest in and didn't want to do. My expertise wanted to be more adjustments and then functional medicine and nutrition. And by coming to this office, I learned those techniques and saw a different side of those. And I did that to help transition him kind of to a lesser schedule and to see more of the patients here in this specific office, while my specialty then now is growing. And we've come up with a plan between the marketing team and myself and my team in the office to continue to grow the functional medicine side and to continue to give awesome adjustments and awesome chiropractic care every day when it comes to the table.
How has your skill set evolved since joining Chiropractic Company?
So with Chiropractic Company, there's a couple built-in systems for technique training as well as coaching. And that coaching could be for day 1, day 2 type stuff, or coaching could be specific a clinical question, or that coaching could be how to best run your office effectively. Talking about as easy as where should my chairs be? If I'm doing these types of adjustments, does this make sense? And that skill set of not being by yourself is really advantageous. So I've grown in skill sets in just office business management through my own techniques with the technique training, as well as just how to communicate with patients, what patients think they need to hear, what they want to hear, and what they should hear, and all those types of things has been really great opportunities with Chiropractic Company.
What advice would you give students getting ready to graduate chiropractic school?
When you're about to graduate chiropractic school, this is almost advice I would give to a new student, but at the same time, when you're entering the world, about to graduate, you're almost like a new person as well, a new student of life. And I would say something that a mentor once told me, which is bite off more than you can chew and chew like hell. And so what I mean by that is if you're not already involved, I would advise you to continue to get involved, continuing to ask questions and to grow your skill set. Because when it comes to where you'll land, you're going to have reality. You might have a plan, but something like COVID might happen and completely knock that plan out of place. And the more skill set you have, the better chance you are to landing on your feet and keep on running. And so when it comes to that transition, I would just say the best thing to do is to continue to have hope, be involved, and be excited because it's an awesome profession.
What do you love most about the community you directly work in?
So the community I directly work in, we throw shade at each other, meaning the other docs and everyone else involved. So sometimes, doctors will come to this office and train for a little bit and I'll get to know them and they'll go to a separate office, but through messaging, emails, Teams, whatever, we'll continue to communicate. And we've definitely developed a relationship and friendships that's a whole lot of fun. Even to some employees that some higher ups might seem scary, since I work with one of them, you can see some humanistic sides to some people and still throw some shade. And that's kind of more the employee side of things. So I like just being involved and getting to know my fellow chiropractors, my fellow staff members, just be involved in their lives. But man, the people that come into this office, in my office, and all our offices are just awesome. And over the course of almost 2 years, I feel like I've definitely developed connections with my direct patients, the patients that are legacy that come into this office for many years and decades, to the new ones. And creating that rapport with them is always a lot of fun.
If there's one thing people should know about Chiropractic Company, what would it be?
So what prospective doctors I think should know is that you shouldn't be afraid by the name, Chiropractic Company. That word company can be scary to some people. In fact, it was scary to some patients, if we ended up acquiring a new office. Company doesn't have to be this gray, black, white box that you have to fit in. A lot of other bigger name offices might end up giving that impression where it's our way or the highway, and that's not the case with Chiropractic Company. I came in to Chiropractic Company thinking I would do only adjustments in functional medicine, and they've allowed me to play and do what I want as a practitioner and continue to do Chiropractic Company or continue to do functional medicine and grow that and continue to do my own skill set with my own style of adjusting, as well as gain new skills. I know other doctors that were really big into SOT and use SOT in part of their practice. Some people really like the Gonstead type adjustments. Whatever works for you as a practitioner to help get the best results for your patients is what Chiropractic Company wants. And the word company shouldn't be scary, but if anything, it's something for all of us to get behind and continue to develop awesome care to the communities that we serve.